Letitia had this complete, total meltdown. It's like she knew this was coming. She knew that the Supreme Court was going to come out on Monday and they were going to say, okay, no go. You do not have access to those federal funds, at least not in the here and now, because Donald Trump, as president, and the feds, they have the right to look over where all of this money is going to see if it fits with their policies. And it's like she sensed it, right? Because did you notice how unhinged she was? I mean, she was like completely off the rails, misquoting scripture and the whole 9 yards, plus getting into the MLK stuff. I want you to see it. I want you to see it. And if you saw it before, you can watch it again, because this is Letitia in all her prime getting totally crazy.
Again, I apologize. Listen.
You might need to turn it up.
7 years after the assassination of Dr. King. And Dr. King talked about that stone of hope. And it's that stone of hope that gives me a fire in my belly each and every morning. It's that stone of hope that allows me to wake up and to stand to Donald Trump and to say, Donald Trump, I'm not afraid of you. It's that stone of hope. It's that stone of hope that gives me power. That's that stone of hope and the belief in each and every one of you to let you know that I'm not going to allow my ancestors, all of those who died for me, to be in this position. I am not going to disgrace them and disappoint them. I am going to use the law both as a sword and as a shield and challenge Donald Trump. And each and every time he issues an illegal executive order, I am going to stand up to him, because he represents to me sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity.
Ooh, she's getting fired up.
Sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. And so DEI, as far as I am concerned, is more than about just black people. Let's be honest.
That's right.
DEI is about paid parental leave. DEI is about disabled children. DEI includes a number of categories. So when they talk about DEI, let them know that they're not only coming after us, but they're coming after all of us. And we've got to stand together, a stand-in community, stand with this great organization under the leadership of our civil rights leader, Reverend Al Sharpton, who has been a light, a bright and shining light in the darkness. But I don't know about you. It's that stone of hope that inspires me each and every day. And listen, faith and fear can never share the same space. And so I'm covered by the blood. And I'm not afraid of Donald Trump. You can come after me, but no enemy, nothing formed against me will perish. Nothing formed against me. Nothing formed against me. Nothing formed against me.
All right, you go, girl, says Rev Sharpton, who collected $500,000 from Kamala's campaign before he interviewed her on MSNBC. Corruption. Now we're going to pan over to Rev.
You thought you could preach, huh?
All right. They're having a good old time. But that was just hours before the news came on the Supreme Court deciding that, you know what? He's got a leg to stand on here. In other words, Leticia James, if New York is spending our federal taxpayer dollars in ways that it should not, whether it be bringing in illegals, whether it be supporting DEI efforts, which the administration has said, and by the way, just take a look at the Constitution, happens to be unconstitutional, then guess what? You're in violation of federal law, and so he doesn't have to give you any money. Pam Bondi came out and said this a few weeks ago, right? Remember? She said, I'm shutting it off. I'm shutting it off because, for goodness sakes, you people have no interest in upholding federal law, certainly when it comes to migrants that you're just welcoming in with hotel rooms and ethnically appropriate food to the tune of $300 and some odd a week. My gosh, Pam said you guys are all getting sued.
And if you don't comply with federal law, we will hold you accountable. We did it to Illinois. Strike one. Strike two is New York. And if you are a state not complying with federal law, you're next. Get ready. And the great men and women of law enforcement are standing behind me today. We have FBI, DEA, ATF agents. They put their lives on the line every single day to protect us. And what New York has, they have green light laws, meaning they're giving a green light to any illegal alien in New York where law enforcement officers cannot check their identity if they pull them over. Law enforcement officers do not have access to their background. And if these great men and women pull over someone and don't have access to their background, they have no idea who they're dealing with. And it puts their lives on the line every single day. Violent criminals, gang members, drug traffickers, human smugglers will no longer terrorize the American people. And that is why we are here today. You will be held accountable if you do not follow federal law. It's over, it ends, and we're coming after you.
Okay, well, you better get ready, Pam, because you got a lot of work to do, certainly with one Leticia James. I get it. You stopped her funding. That's fantastic. And now the Supreme Court has said, yeah, at least temporarily, you can totally stop her funding. So Letitia's out of money. She doesn't have the federal funds to do all these crazy things, including, well, the immigration policies that they were putting in place. She is flagrantly flaunting the law here, putting on her Twitter account, New York has laws that protect immigrants and limit cooperation. Limit! Imagine that, cooperation with federal immigration enforcement efforts. What planet are these people living on? These laws should be followed by law enforcement and officials in our state. I'm always upholding our laws to protect immigrant New Yorkers. Are you like your own little island there? Are you just like another country? If you are, then hey, maybe you should go join Canada. Of course, we might gobble you up too. Just saying. Anyway, these people are unbelievable. Consider what New York has been up against. Consider what Texas has been up against. The entire country has been up against as they've been flooding all of these people in. It's finally come to a stop, down 96% since Donald Trump took office. But listen to John Ansfithin. He just testified before Congress a couple of weeks ago. This is the guy who's the VP on the Border Patrol. And he's like, it was nuts. It was nuts, okay? And Leticia wants this.
President Biden's executive actions and inactions during his term resulted in an unprecedented security and humanitarian crisis along our borders. It didn't have to be this way, and we have to do whatever we can to prevent it from happening again. Not only was the entire world encouraged to essentially illegally cross our borders, primarily with the goal of abusing the asylum system, but it caused our agents to be sidelined, left unable to do their jobs. Our job shifted from that of law enforcement to that of processing asylum claims, sitting behind computers on a virtual assembly line while illegal aliens disappeared into the country because we weren't there to do it. And a lot of these folks were only discovered later after being arrested for all sorts of crimes, some of them minor and some of them horrific. To put this in context, during the 12 years of Presidents Obama and Trump, there were approximately 1.6 million gotaways across all 12 years. During President Biden's 4 years, there were over 2 million. Now, this surge overwhelmed our resources and it led to tragic consequences. During President Biden's tenure, we saw an average of 690 deaths at the border per year, with FY22 being the worst, and there were over 900 deaths of people trying to cross the border. You compare that to an average of 370 deaths per year under President Obama and 280 under President Trump. And now all of these deaths are unfortunate, but it gives you an idea of how out of control things were or became over the past 4 years.
Yeah, out of control. Totally out of control. And you got to start to ask yourself, like, what was this about? You look at what Elon's been finding, right? And there's more to come on that this week. Elon and Doge have found that they were giving out, well, they're saying Social Security numbers. It's just mind-boggling, right, to all of these people that were here illegally. And then the next question is, what was going on the voting process? Because New York wanted 800,000 of them to actually be able to vote in local elections and state elections. 800,000 people here illegally and they get to vote? Are you kidding me? Well, finally, a New York State court actually turned that one down. 800,000 illegals voting in a state election. You see what direction they're taking this in, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, Letitia's kind of bummed out. Letitia's depressed. Leticia lost, okay? She lost and she's going to lose again and lose again. I'm annoyed because I'm still waiting on that second court of appeals. I'm still waiting to figure out when they're going to throw that case that she brought against Donald Trump to the tune of $500+ million. With interest, it adds up. When are they going to throw that one out? That's still sitting around, even though those judges know damn well it has no legal merit. So we're still waiting on that. And I suspect there's reasons for it, right? They're trying to like hold it out in case they need to go after him, this, that, and the other. But it's pretty gross. You know what else was kind of gross? The craziness in the market today. I got to tell you, gold was down a little bit. Whenever anything's down, like I like to get in. And so actually I was buying just as the market opened. I got some gold. I got some triple Qs, right? Triple QM on the NASDAQ. I got some broad exposure in the S&P and some, as they call them, diamonds over on the Dow. And it's been a wild ride. We've been up, down, and all around. As we come up on the close of trading right now, I want to point out, I think gold still suffering a little bit off its highs. You get the NASDAQ trading basically flat, the S&P basically flat, the Dow off 1%. It could have been a whole lot worse. Anyway, one of the ways I even out my portfolio and protect myself against inflation and some of these crazy, crazy moments is through gold. And you can do that too. You know, we're an independent show, so we are thankful for all of our sponsors here, and American Heart for Gold is one of them. You can get up to $15,000 right now in free silver if you text my name, Trish, to 65532 or call them at 1-844-495-1115, up to $15,000 right now in free silver, or you can just go to trishlovesgold.com, trishlovesgold.com.